Excuse me. What's going on, guys? So today I wanted to address a commonly asked question that I see down in the comment section. How does your smoke system work? Now, the smoke system is something I really kind of doubted for the longest time. Before I tried it, I kind of thought, you're flying along, you're blowing smoke behind you. What fun is that? You can't even see it. But it wasn't until I tried it that I really realized it's insanely fun, and I think every paramotor pilot should consider installing a smoke system on their motor. So the way it works is actually quite simple. Essentially, you have a certain type of oil that gets pumped into the hot exhaust. When it hits that insanely hot exhaust, it flashes and turns into smoke. That goes through the rest of the exhaust system, pumped out the little tailpipe, and boom, you have a nice fluffy cloud of smoke floating behind you. Let's take a look at my Super Scout scout machine and dive into the actual hardware in more detail. So the smoke machine I have installed on my Super Scout machine is kind of a prototype designed between aviator and flight test for our Paradigm team. This particular system isn't really commercially available that I know of. So down here, strapped to the bottom of the frame, is just a simple 20-ounce thermos. That holds the oil. And then down below, we have a battery pack. Up above, in a 3D printed case, we have a simple smoke pump from an RC airplane. They get wired together in conjunction with a switch. The wiring runs up all the way to my throttle. My throttle has a simple button that you can press and it's on, press again and it's off. From our smoke pump, we have two lines. One goes into the tank, obviously to suck up the smoke oil. The second goes up and is routed into my exhaust right here. Now this is one of the more complicated parts of the whole system. In this exhaust is a riv nut. So we drill out a hole, stick that riv nut in, and then the hard part is finding a nipple injector that works. We went through a lot of these, some of which were brass, and they ended up lasting for a while, but eventually vibrating enough that they wore and broke off. These that are on here right now are actually machined stainless steel. One end's threaded, it has a small hole that the oil flows through, and the other side has a nice flange that the tubing can stick onto. So what sort of oil do you use? Let's talk about that. Initially, I started running actual aviation smoke oil that they use in air shows. We got some leftovers. Eventually, I ran out of it and I had to find a new source because that stuff is expensive and kind of hard to get. Now, the easy solution is baby oil. Baby oil is pretty cheap. This stuff is 20 fluid ounces, the exact size of my tank, and it's about $2.50 for this one bottle. That gets me about 1 minute and 15 seconds worth of smoke. Doesn't contain actual babies. Make sure you get that kind. We have lavender scent and aloe in the middle. This stuff is the Equate brand. You can get it at Walmart. It's cheap enough that it is fully worth the $2.50 for that 1 minute and 15 seconds of smoke. So that all kind of sounds like rainbows and sunshine, but let's talk about some of the risks. First off, you're drilling a hole in your exhaust. It probably voids the warranty straight off the bat, but also paramotor exhausts in general are kind of prone to cracking, and poking a hole in it is definitely not going to do you any good when it comes to a cracking exhaust. Second, you kind of have to think about thermodynamics. So your exhaust is really freaking hot right there at the header, and you're injecting kind of cool smoke oil in it. So you do probably change the characteristics of the metal over time by shoving cold oil into that hot metal. Once again, you kind of stress it and you risk cracking your exhaust more than you would without modifying it. Third and finally, using the smoke actually affects the way your engine runs. So what I've noticed on my engine, is if I'm at about half power and I kick on the smoke, my RPM increases to about 3/4. Now if I'm at full power and I hit the smoke, it drops down and stays at 3/4. So basically, whenever you have the smoke on, it wants to sit in this weird certain RPM range. It takes a little bit of getting used to. You can still like foot drag with the smoke on. Your engine just runs really funny when you have it on. So it's good to take that into account to not like try to climb over a tree row with your smoke on, because you might not make it. As far as practical applications for having smoke on your motor, well, you're gonna look freaking sweet when you throw down some sick, nasty acro. Other than that, a couple weeks ago I was flying and saw some air traffic approaching, so I blipped my smoke a little bit, made a little dash pattern. He totally saw me. I mean, technically you could also use smoke to check wind direction if you really wanted to. It's not something I would ever rely on, but I mean, if you want to lay down some smoke on the ground before you land, you can definitely figure out which way the wind's going. Other practical applications: crop dusting, chemtrails, crop circles, communicating with aliens. I hear the government's paying a lot for chemtrails these days.
11 out of 10.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill my smoke tank with baby oil. I think I'm gonna use the aloe tonight because I haven't used aloe yet. We'll see how it smells. And we're gonna go down to the park. I think Judson's gonna be there, and I'll see if I can trade him some video work for a quick flight around sunset. And we'll get some sick footage smoking out the park. Let's get down there. All right, we've relocated to the local park establishment. Beautiful weather. Gonna get up and buzz around, burn out all 20 ounces of my smoke oil, and do a little smoky montage. Judson's over there filming in 4K, so we're gonna get up and rip it. All right, here goes nothing. Look at that! Perfect tip vortices. I'm about to go through a tunnel. I've never seen it do that before. Oh yeah! You know, the aloe doesn't smell much different than lavender. Freaking rad. Oh man, smoke is so rad, dude. It's just like, it's almost like if you had a magic wand, it like has this innocent, childlike pleasure to it. Let's throw some wingovers and see if she lasts.
It's a legitimate paramotor roller coaster ride. That's so sick. All right, I think I'm gonna come in for a landing. Concluding thoughts on smoke. It's freaking rad. If you're a paramotor pilot, you should look into it, weigh the risks. One unmentioned risk is the fact that sometimes people think we're crashing even when we're just not. We're just doing our thing. You add smoke to the equation and they think you're crashing even more. Chase him to the prop.
Check out this crazy lighting. That's gonna cap it off for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed how to install a smoke system on your paramotor. Don't forget, check out the sweet merch. I got the airfoil shirt going on. We got all kinds of cool stuff on the online store. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace out.